Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome your bride and groom celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary.
Take it on. Take it on, Ed. Take it on, please.
What do you think? Am I winning that bet?
What's up, handsome? Good, good, good.
Dalton, you see a tear in the eye? What do you think? And you were there for Jimmy Kosmunik. And the night before, at the rehearsal dinner, Mom walked in and saw Dad in a gray sweater buttoned down with granny glasses and a Beatles haircut and thought, that is the worldliest man I've ever seen. And I would say to my mother, you were so sheltered. And from there, that love turned into a whirlwind, and they ended up in Elkton, Maryland, eloping secretly to get married. And then, 6 weeks later, racked with guilt that they were hiding this secret, my mother calls her mom and dad and tells them she has something very important to tell them. And she's teary-eyed. Am I getting that right? So she gets home, mom and pop up are waiting for you, and she gives them the big news that it turns out 6 weeks before she was secretly married. And my grandfather, with love and compassion, says, that's the big secret? You thought you were pregnant. Go back to work. And then when it was 6 months later, you were married, family and friends around you, and from that moment on, that love affair turned into a wedding, turned into a happy couple, turned into a family. And from that family, we have this congregation before us today, with your sons and their wives and grandchildren, all of your friends and family, to show you how much we love you. And so, I gotta ask, we're gonna do some vows here to see if we can get another 50 years out of this thing. What do you think, Dad? Dad always said that he was supposed to get parole after 25 years, but I said, hey, this ain't the Shawshank Redemption. You ain't cutting on the outside. So I gotta ask you, Mom, for another 50 years, do you promise to love Dad, to help him find his lost butt, because apparently he lost it, to put up with his bizarre fixation of waxing his motorcycle and Barb's Harley Davidson, and to love him for the rest of your life? Dad, do you promise for the next 50 years to take care of Mom, especially when she falls down? And she will, repeatedly. To stand for all the pictures that a global tourist would take, and to make sure that she's cared for and loved as she deserves for the rest of her life. Absolutely. Well then, I guess, Dad, I noticed you never wear rings because you're an electrician. So fortunately, we got you a nice silicone ring. Here's yours. Mother, here's yours. And I now renew your vows for another 50 years. I love you both very much. Happy anniversary, guys.
I know, I gotta go to sleep tonight.
We had sibling rivalry when we were younger. We all do. But then he brought home this wonderful woman. How wholesome and proper was she? And I hope she knows what's coming. I was 17 and Debbie said, "Would you like to see a play?" And she took me to see Hair with full frontal nudity. She opened a whole new world to me. I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to share that memory and tell you both I love you very much.
Thank you.
I made a nice campfire and warmed up the shoes and turned them into a U. You were all in trouble. And Dad, I know it's been 50 years ago. The first time you came to dinner, I'm sorry for teasing you. I love you both. Best parents and grandparents, but I love you both.